Step-by-step fabrication of an oral appliance for obstructive sleep apnea. It's a mandibular advancement device which is titratable and removable. We need a good working model with vestibule well recorded. Then a 20 gauge orthodontic archware is so adapted, running from the labial aspect of the arch to the lingual side, connecting the right and left side. It will act as a framework which will support the acrylic splint that we are going to fabricate later. For retention, we can add 2-3 pinhead clasps which can be placed in the anterior region, maybe the incisors, canine, wherever you find it convenient to adapt it. Keeping the overall very simple wire bendings, few pinhead clasps for retention, aiding in retention, and an archware framework that will support the acrylic. Maxillary arch bite is registered for phase 4 transfer, so that articulation of the working models can be done on a semi-adjustable articulator. Here we are using a JP30 Ignatus semi-adjustable articulator. Using these articulators help in fabricating a more comfortable appliance, at the same time reduces lots of time for chair side adjustments in the appliance. When less than 5 mm mandibular advancement is planned, then the lower model can be articulated with the upper one in centric occlusion. But when the advancement required is more, a bite registration in the advanced position of the mandible can be done as we do with functional appliances, and that could be the baseline of titration. Maxillary arch splint fabrication is done first. It can be done by self-cure acrylic or heat cure acrylic. For self-cure acrylic, initially block the undercuts below the wear and all. Then in a dowel form, it can be worked out to make the splint. The advantages of heat cure acrylic, as we all know, it's like they're much stronger and they can last for a very much longer duration than self-cure acrylic. So individual splints, once done, they are finished a bit. For titration, a jack screw is fixed on the buccal flange of the maxillary splint between first and second molar. The guiding pins pointing posteriorly are embedded in acrylic and fixed to the maxillary splint, while the anterior part of the screw or the pins are kept free to move forward on activation, making the device titratable. The anterior portion of the jack screw is stabilized using a micropore, and cold cure acrylic is placed on the distal or the posterior part of the jack screw to connect it with the maxillary splint. And this is how it is stabilized and now acrylized with the maxillary splint. A Teflon tape is placed below the guiding pins of the jack screw, anterior part of the jack screw, and that will act as a separator later. Then acrylization of the anterior, acrylization of the lateral bite block is done with self-cure acrylic. A 45 to 60 degree incline is drawn on the Teflon tape, and that will act, that will help in guiding, fabricating this lateral bite block with an incline of 45 to 60 degree here. After acrylization, the jack screw is opened to see the freedom of movement of this lateral bite block. How much, in case of any hindrance, it can be cleared up at this stage. So you can clearly see the design. The posterior part of the jack screw is embedded in the maxillary splint, and the anterior part is from uh, free to move. After trial, the jack screw is closed back to initial position for fabrication of the mandibular splint with lateral bite block complementing the maxillary one. Teflon tape is again wound over the maxillary splint to act as a separator that covers the inclined plane of the lateral bite block. Both maxillary and mandibular splints are placed on the models mounted on the articulator, and the lateral bite blocks of the mandibular splint are fabricated complementing the maxillary inclines. Good finishing and polishing of the appliance is the last step of the appliance fabrication. It helps in patient compliance and cooperation, improves the cooperation of the patient. And this is done the way it is shown in the video. Thus, this mandibular advancement device has a maxillary splint with an advancing lateral bite block having a 45 to 60 degree anterior incline like that we give it on twin block, and a mandibular splint that has a fixed lateral bite block with a posterior incline that complements the maxillary one. During delivery of the appliance, like with every functional orthodontic appliances, removable orthodontic appliances that we deliver to the patient, we check for a proper fit, relief from the soft tissues, any impinging or any irritational factors in the gingiva or things like those are to be relieved, and titration can be started 2 turns a day. Opening the jack screw 2 turns a day allows the gradual advancement of the mandible by 0.5 millimeters each day. This titration is continued till a sweet spot is achieved when the snoring is significantly reduced in the patient, as reported by the spouse or a close family member who can make out. Here are few other guidelines which may be of interest to you. Thanks for watching the video. We'll be uploading this interesting hand reference videos of different orthodontic procedures also in this channel. If you like it, do subscribe it. Thank you so much.